Comedian Lewis Black talks about when he went to school as a kid, they had drills because he went to school during the Cold War. And so you had to hide under your desk. Some of you may know what this was called, duck and cover. Hiding under your desk, he said, would protect you from any type of nuclear strike. And he said, my desk was made out of wood. I was hiding under kindling. But that was how you prepared at that time. I remember my own experience in grammar school. We kind of improved the process a little bit. We had to go out into the hall. We didn't rely on our desks. We went into the hall, put our hands behind our head in a sort of modified duck and cover idea. Now as we look back, it just seems a little crazy. Jesus talks of perplexing, calamitous times, just like people lived through many years ago during that Cold War. And Jesus says there will be difficult times, there will be signs in the sun, the moon, and the stars, the roar of the sea and the waves. Everything is in flux, nothing makes any sense anymore. But you know what? Don't duck and cover. Don't close your eyes, don't look away, and most of all, don't fear. Jesus says clearly, stand erect, raise your heads, because your redemption is at hand, even while all of these strange signs are going on in the sun, the moon, and the stars. Jesus says, lift your head up, be ready, prepare yourself for the day that the Lord comes, and the way to do that is stand up and be ready to go. We are called in our time to prepare by focusing on the right things. Jesus was saying at the time that there's so many distractions, so many things will happen, but we have to focus on the right thing, and that is the coming of Jesus. And of course, that is true for our times as well. There are so many distractions that are around us. Jesus mentions a few: carousing, drunkenness, giving into anxieties. You know who you are. I don't know how many of you are drunk here this evening, but well, there you go. But even if you are, be confident, because all of those distractions eventually will fall away, and Jesus will come to us, giving us his life and his hope. There's so many things that can distract us in our time of preparation. Holiday parties, food, drink, presents, and all those things are good in and of themselves, but they can distract us from the true nature of the season, which is to keep our heads up and focusing on the coming of the Lord. Does that mean we turn down all invitations? No. Does that mean we stop buying presents? No. But at least remember why the parties and the presents exist: to celebrate the Lord's coming among us. He is the ultimate gift that the Father gives to us. And so we are called then in our time to embrace these 4 weeks of Advent as a gift, to know Jesus better and to prepare ourselves when at last he comes. And so remember that when he comes in a spirit of love, ready to share gifts to us. And this is what kind of confuses me about the gospel. Jesus talks about his coming with a great deal of foreboding, doesn't he? You should worry about this, because there's going to be trials and destruction and problems. Well, we know that Jesus comes in a very different way, doesn't he? He comes in a spirit of joy, a spirit of giving, a spirit of forming a new relationship with his people, of giving comfort and salvation to his people. But unfortunately, there are so many people who see that coming of Jesus as being something that is worrisome to them. People have told me, well, I'm not sure if God really loves me or not. So many people have told me, well, here I am in the hospital, for example, so I must have done something wrong, and God is punishing me. They have kind of a negative idea of Jesus coming into their lives. But the most important thing that we have to cultivate during these 4 weeks of Advent is to remind ourselves that Jesus comes into the world out of love for us, not because he's angry with us or ready to punish us or anything like that, but comes to give himself freely for us so that we can live. John 3:16, God so loved the world that he sent his only Son. So the first time Jesus comes 2,000 years ago, he comes in a spirit of peace, born in a humble stable, with his family, animals, and a few shepherds hanging around. And he comes again to us on December the 25th in the same way, a spirit of peace, a spirit of loving embrace for humanity. And we always have to remember that. So, two things for these 4 weeks of Advent. First of all, to eliminate the distractions that can steal our focus away from the Lord, all of the different things that go on. We're called always to keep our heads up and say, this season is for Jesus and really for nothing else. Eliminate the distractions. And second of all, be confident, be joyful, knowing that the Lord comes into the world to give us new life and new hope. So we stand up and raise our heads and say, Jesus is coming to us, coming in a spirit of joy, communion, and renewal.